Well, it is a couple days later, and the last scene you guys would have saw was us blowing the trailer tire. So I thought I would do a little story time. Honestly, the day sort of got away from us a little bit, and there was so much going on that I just didn't pick up the camera. So I thought I would do a little story time this morning and go over it. So we blew the trailer tire on the Forestry Trunk Road. We got pulled over into like a big area that looks like some people have been camping in. And it was like really open and flat. It was perfect to be able to unload the horses and change the tire. So we go to do that. And we open up the tack room, which is where the spare tire is. And there's a Zoe, but there's no Rex. And I have video footage from us packing up that he was put in the tack room. I'll post a picture here. So I pretty much immediately start to panic. So Chris is like, check the horse trailer. Like maybe we put him in there or maybe he snuck in there or whatever. So I did that. No Rex. No Rex. So Chris is like, all right, let's get the tire changed and we'll go back to the Hummingbird area. There's a camp post and there was lots of people camping there that we could go talk to. Go to change the tire and we don't have the right socket to change the tire. We have a 15/16, but we do not have an inch and a 16th, which who thought that their trailer was an inch and a 16th? Not us. So the tire was already like completely screwed, and the tires are weighted for quite a bit of weight, or the tires and the axles are rated for quite a bit of weight. So we decided that we were just going to limp it to Nordegg, which was, I think it was like 20K, but it was like 17K of gravel. So we were able to kind of just take it slow. But we still had the issue of a missing Rex. So we dropped the trailer. We tied the horses to some trees. Thank gosh that they are good with being tied to trees and they are used to it. So we tied them to trees. We piled back in the truck. Just about forgot Zoe. So I was in the back of the truck with the kids because Zoe was too big to fit on the seat between the kids. So she got the front seat and I got to sit in the back with the kids. And the whole like 20K back to the Hummingbird recreation area was just, it was horrible. Watson got motion sick again. I was a wreck because I was worried about Rex. It was just, it was a long 20K. So we finally get back there. I get Watson all washed up from being sick. We stop. The first place we stop at is the host's camp. And as soon as we pull up, Chris jumps out. Scarlett's up with me. And he starts walking down the little driveway because they stay in like the ranger patrol cabin, which was really nice because then they don't have to worry about a camper or nothing. Anyway, she yells, "Are you missing a little dog?" And Chris starts running to the cabin. He's like, "Yeah, a little corgi?" And then I can't hear them from this point, and I'm stuck like in the back of the truck. So they talk for a couple more minutes, and the kids are like, "Do they have Rex? Do they have Rex?" I'm like, it kind of sounds like it, but I don't actually know. I don't know if they have Rex here or if like she knows which camper has him or what. So we sit for a couple more minutes, and then all of a sudden Chris yells, "Alex!" And I'm like, "What?" And then nothing. And then he yells, "Alex!" again, and I yell, "What?" And at this point I'm trying to get out of the truck because it's like an excited Alex. So I'm like, Rex is here. thank the Lord. And so I like pushed the middle seat down in the front because we had it out for Zoe. Push it down, but she was like in the way, so I'm trying to move her out of the way. And it probably took just seconds, but it felt like forever because I was trying to get out of the truck really fast. And I climbed through the driver's seat and out, and I get about halfway down the driveway, and Chris yells, "Alex, call him." And I call Rex, and he comes running to me, and I drop to the ground, and I'm in tears again, and I could tear up again about it now. Because we just lost Mav. Like, we can't lose another dog. I can't right now. Like, it's hard enough as it is, but to have multiple in a row is too much. Anyway, so everybody was so excited. We found Rex. We thanked the lady there. She was about to, they have a sat phone. Or a GPS phone or whatever. And they were about to text me, letting me know because he had his tag on, thankfully, with my name and his name and my number. They were also organizing a Facebook post to go out. So thankfully, even if we hadn't found him that day, we absolutely would have found him the following day. Like, as soon as we got back into cell reception, I would have received the text message and we would have gone back to get him. But thankfully he is okay, and he was super happy to see us. And I still don't understand what happened. Still don't get it, because he was in the trailer. Anyway. So we got Rex. So now it's Chris and Zoe in the front, and Scarlett, me and Rex, and Watson in the back. So the truck is even more full. And we now get back to the horse trailer, and we're talking about it on the way back that we're going to chance it, and we're just going to limp it to Nordegg, and somebody there has to have one. Like, there's no hardware store or anything like that in Nordegg. You have to go to Rocky. And so we're like, there's a golf course there. They have equipment needs to be worked on. They should have something, right? And at this point, we're also getting low on fuel. Like, we have, I think, 115K left to empty, and the truck gauge is not super accurate. We're like, we need to get to Nordegg right now. So we get back to the trailer. We hook up the trailer. We load the horses. The horses were just standing there like it was any other day. It was fantastic. We limp it back to Nordegg. We're asking everybody we possibly can. We stop at a gas station to get fuel. I run over to the golf course, which was just across the road. We go up and look in their workshop or whatever, and they again only had a 15-16 deep socket. So the key here is the deep socket, because the bolt is so long on the trailer tire, so the nut goes on so far, so you need a deep socket. And so we're asking everybody under the sun. Chris is stopping. There's campers, there's sled trailers, there's quadders, there's everybody stopping for fuel here, which was great. So we were asking everybody, but everybody had the same toolkit that we did. So, which was it's kind of funny. So it says that it's a good toolkit, but it's just not if you have a big trailer, essentially. So I'm at the golf course. Chris is asking all of the people. The kids are whining for me, but they're with him because I just hopped out of the truck to go to the golf course. And we start asking a couple of the golfers. And one guy says, "Oh, I have one." And we're like, "Yes, okay." He's like, "I'll be back in like 5 minutes." I'm like, "Excellent." So I call Chris. We got somebody that has one. Great. So the guy shows up. He has a 15-16, but not a 1-inch. It's like, darn it. Okay. He goes, "I have a buddy who has one, but you have to give me 15 minutes because he lives a little bit out of town or whatever." And we're like, all right, well, we don't really have another choice here. So he goes, I get the kids out. I get Watson changed because at this point he still hasn't been changed from when he barfed all over the place. So I get him changed. We get a towel down on the car seat. Thank God it was just banana, but oh my goodness. On the way in, we found out that he got motion sickness and he barfed 3 times, and it was like a huge carton of chocolate milk. Oh, it was so gross. Oh, it was so gross. The smell. Like, the windows were down. It was it was gross. It was nasty. Anyway, I took the kids and we went to the convenience store there and we got them an ice cream and me an ice cream and Chris a Gatorade. So we got everybody some snacks and some hydration and everybody was happy. We let the dogs out of the trailer. All the windows were open for the horses. It actually stayed pretty cool in the trailer for the horses, which was really awesome. The guy shows up with an inch socket. We're all rejoicing like, yes, we got this. Chris goes to put it on and it doesn't fit. It is too small. So the guy's like, well, the guy has a couple more. I'll go back for the other ones. And we're like, oh my goodness, like we owe this couple something. We owe them. So if you are that couple and you are watching, thank you so much. And if you are any of the people who were passing through Nordegg and you happen to come across this video, thank you for looking. We really, really appreciate it. That could have ended up in an even longer day than it was. But anyway, so thank you to everybody. So the guy goes, he comes back about 10 minutes later, and he's like, I hope an inch and a 16th works because he didn't have an inch and an 1/8. The friend. He puts it on, and it freaking works. It's like, yes. And within 5 minutes, we were backloaded in the truck, said thank you to the couple, and we were on our way. So that was kind of crazy. Like, yeah. Craziness. So the other thing is these tires are only like a year old and really haven't seen that much pavement. But when we were on our way back to Hummingbird to get Rex, we noticed drag marks in the gravel. And so we're actually thinking that the brake was locking on. Like, we had it set pretty high because you're going through the mountains and the hills are pretty steep. So we did have the brake controller set pretty high. So we toned it way back. But we're thinking that it was like locking on, and so it was creating flat spots. So that is what happened with the tire. So once we get loaded in the truck, the kids are like, we're hungry, and Chris and I were hungry, and there was no, like, we didn't really have any sandwich stuff left, and there wasn't really anything that we had in the cooler that we could just whip out for supper. Everything involved being cooked, right? So we stopped in Rocky, we got some chicken nuggets and fries and some chocolate milk, and we made the trek home. We get home, and Chris had tied the spare tire onto the back of the flat deck of the truck, and it's missing. So somewhere along the way, we lost it off the flat deck. What I don't understand is it was tied down. Like, there were a couple things on this trip between Rex getting out of the trailer and the tire coming off of the flat deck that just make no sense, because we checked the tie strap, like the ratchet strap that it was tied down with, and it was there. Fully intact. So I I don't know what happened. Anyway, we went back to a couple places to look for it, but it's gone. So that was $343 that we didn't need to spend on this trip to get a new spare tire and a new rim, because we don't want to be stranded out anywhere again. And we also will be putting an inch and a 16th deep socket in the horse trailer that just stays in the horse trailer. That'll be the horse trailer socket. And we'll be looking into maybe a bigger socket kit for the truck as well. Yeah. But yeah, so we got home at about 8:15, 8:30ish. We should have been home at about 3:30. Horses got unloaded. Everybody's fine. Like, the dogs are fine. The kids are fine. Everybody was tired, but we were all fine. So we got the kids like cleaned up like a little sponge bath, basically, because they were filthy. Got the kids a little sponge bath, got them in jammies, got them some more milk, and just took a half an hour. We sat on the couch and watched a show, got the kids down for bed at probably 9 o'clock, maybe probably at 9 o'clock, maybe even a little bit later. And then Chris and I went to bed shortly after that because we were exhausted. Thankfully, we didn't have to really unpack anything from the trailer because everything was fine still and all in one spot. So all we needed to unpack was all our pillows, our clothing, and the kids' clothing. So
yeah,
the trip was great.
My big old squishmallow.
Yes, your big squishmallow came. The trip was really great. Twilight broke the snap on her lead shank, as you guys saw. For some reason, she's kind of weird with her head. I don't know if something happened when she was younger because we haven't owned her whole life. And she just has moments where she goes to pull. And at this point, I think she's broke so many cross ties and so many lead shanks and halters. She's broke halters before. That it's just one of those things that it's going to take a lot for her to get out of that mentality of feeling that pressure and not giving in right away because she knows she can break it. But we have this crazy rope that Chris made lead shanks with that is rated for like a crazy amount of pressure or foot-pounds or has pulling power or whatever the saying would be. And she didn't break the rope, but she broke the bull snap to it. So we took the bull snap off and we just tied it to her halter, and her halter is a double stitched halter, so it's got 2 layers of fabric. It's actually got 4 because it's like folded up, but it's got the extra layers of fabric and then it's got extra stitching. So she didn't break the halter and she didn't break the rope, so we just tied the rope to the ring on her halter, and that was that. That was how we kept her in tow all weekend. We brought her with the intentions of me riding, but it's hard because with the kids on the wagon, if anything were to go wrong, Chris can't deal with the horses and the kids at the same time. Like, that's just too much at once. It's just, so I stayed on the wagon, and that's why Twilight was in tow. Once we were there, I rode her for a little bit, which was nice, but and then Scarlett got to ride with me for a little bit, which was also nice. The drive home was just ridiculous, but it is what it is. We're home now. Everybody's happy. Everybody's safe. Everybody's all good. We got the spare tire replaced. It's all good. If you are still watching this, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.